Welcome back to Bike Hub, the home of iconic machines, legendary engineering, and timeless rides. But today, we're stepping a bit off the saddle and into history, because we're talking about a vehicle that didn't just revolutionize transportation, it changed the world. Meet the Ford Model T. A car so iconic, so revolutionary, it transformed society, kick-started the modern auto industry, and put America, and the world, on wheels. If you're a true motorhead, this one is unmissable. We're diving deep into the legacy, engineering, and cultural impact of the legendary Ford Model T, the world's first mass-produced car. The origins. When the Ford Model T was first introduced in 1908, the world was a very different place. Horses were the main mode of transportation. Cars were luxury toys for the wealthy, expensive, unreliable, and difficult to operate. But Henry Ford had a vision, to create a simple, durable, affordable car that the average American could own and drive. And he did it. The Model T wasn't just a car, it was a revolution. Nicknamed the Tin Lizzie, it quickly became a symbol of freedom, mobility, and progress. Before the Model T, fewer than 200,000 cars were on American roads. By the time production ended in 1927, Ford had built over 15 million Model Ts. Design and engineering. The Model T came with a 2.9-liter inline-4, making 20 horsepower. Now, that might not sound like much, but this was more than enough to push the Model T to speeds of around 40 to 45 miles per hour, fast for its time. But more importantly, it was reliable. Built from lightweight vanadium steel, the chassis was rugged, and the suspension was built to handle rough, unpaved roads. The engine ran on gasoline, kerosene, or even ethanol, flex fuel before it was cool. And it was easy to repair, with most parts being accessible and replaceable by the owner. The controls were unusual. There was no gas pedal like modern cars. Instead, the throttle was controlled by a lever on the steering column. 3 pedals controlled the clutch, reverse gear, and brake. It took getting used to, but once mastered, it was incredibly functional. Mass production. One of the most important legacies of the Model T was how it was built. Before the Model T, cars were handcrafted by skilled laborers, a slow and expensive process. But in 1913, Ford introduced the moving assembly line. This innovation cut the time to build a car from 12 hours to just 90 minutes. Let that sink in. It also slashed costs. The Model T debuted at $850, but by the 1920s, it sold for as low as $260. That's like dropping the price of a new iPhone down to $50 in today's money. This made the Model T affordable to the middle class, not just the wealthy elite. It put the average American behind the wheel, and kicked off the age of mass mobility. A vehicle for the people. What really made the Model T special wasn't just its engineering or price, it was the social revolution it caused. For the first time in history, ordinary people could travel freely. Families could move out of crowded cities. Businesses could reach remote areas. Farmers could transport goods with ease. Road construction boomed. New towns sprang up. Tourism exploded. Even dating culture changed, because young couples could now drive off somewhere alone. It also gave rise to car culture. People customized their Model Ts, added accessories, even raced them. It was the original hot rod. Global impact. While we often associate the Model T with American roads, its influence was global. Ford built Model T factories in Canada, the UK, Germany, Argentina, Japan, and more. The car reached over 30 countries, proving its appeal was truly universal. In Russia, the Model T was known as the Fordovsky. In Australia, they converted them into light trucks called utes. In Africa and Asia, it often became the first motor vehicle many people ever saw. The Model T brought modernization wherever it went. Its parts and service were available nearly everywhere. That's why it became the first world car. Fun facts. Here are a few amazing things you might not know about the Ford Model T. The Model T was originally offered in red, green, blue, and gray, but after 1914, Ford standardized to black because black paint dried fastest. It could run on ethanol, making it an early alternative fuel car. The Model T was light enough that people could lift it out of a ditch with a few friends if it got stuck. It was also the first car to cross the United States coast to coast in a reliable, affordable way. Ford's $5 a day wage doubled the industry standard, and helped create the American middle class. Criticism and competition. But no legend lasts forever. By the mid-1920s, competitors had caught up. General Motors and others offered more modern cars. More powerful, more stylish, more comfortable. Ford was slow to change. Henry Ford refused to redesign the Model T for years. He believed in perfection through simplicity, but consumers wanted more. In 1927, Ford finally pulled the plug. The last Model T rolled off the line on May 26, after nearly 20 years of production. It was replaced by the Ford Model A, a more modern vehicle, and Ford learned a lesson about innovation versus stubbornness. Collector's dream. Today, the Model T is a collector's dream. It's not just a car, it's a symbol of freedom, innovation, and the birth of the modern world. Tens of thousands of Model Ts are still running. Enthusiasts around the world restore them, drive them, and show them off at vintage rallies. Parts are still available. Entire communities exist to support owners. And thanks to its simplicity, a Model T can still be maintained by hand, just like it was over 100 years ago. Some people even daily drive them. Whether you're a fan of muscle bikes or vintage icons, the Model T earns respect. It's not fast. It's not flashy. But it's the car that made all others possible. The legacy. The Ford Model T did more than just change the automotive industry, it reshaped society. It taught manufacturers how to build at scale. It showed the power of affordability. It proved that good design isn't about luxury, it's about accessibility. Most importantly, it showed that mobility equals freedom. And even today, in a world of electric cars and self-driving AI, the DNA of the Model T still lives on, in every car we drive, every road we travel, and every dream of independence we chase. If you've ever turned a key, kicked a starter, or twisted a throttle, you owe something to the Model T. Here at Bike Hub, we salute not just the fastest or the loudest, but the pioneers. And the Ford Model T? That's a pioneer of the highest order. If you enjoyed this dive into the machine that built the modern world, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more deep dives into mechanical legends, from 2 wheels to 4. This has been Bike Hub, and remember, the legend is back.